There is a strange and painful paradox on the path of becoming yourself. You do the work. You start to speak your truth. You set the boundaries. You follow your inner calling. You begin to shed the old, comfortable masks you used to wear. And you expect to be seen, truly seen for the first time. But instead, a chilling silence can descend, a feeling of profound invisibility. It is the feeling of sharing a piece of your soul, only to be met with a polite, vacant smile. The feeling of making a courageous life change and having the people closest to you not even seem to notice. It is the lonely ache of vibrating at a frequency that no one else around you seems able to hear. And in that quiet, a painful question can arise. If no one sees this new me, do I even exist? If this is your experience, I want you to know that you are not alone, and you are not doing anything wrong. You have simply entered one of the most sacred and challenging phases of the individuation process. The great psychologist Carl Jung understood this journey intimately. He knew that the path to wholeness requires a radical shift. A shift from seeking the world's spotlight to learning how to generate your own. This is a different kind of shadow work. It is not about what is hidden in your darkness. It is about who is willing to stand witness to your light. Today, we will not learn how to make others see you. We will learn something far more powerful. How to truly and unshakably see yourself. To understand this painful paradox of invisibility, we must first understand a fundamental law of human relationships. We do not see people as they are. We see them as we are. More accurately, we see the version of them that we have created in our own minds. For years, you have taught the people in your life who you are. You have given them a character to interact with, the character of the peacemaker, the helper, the one who never needs anything, the one who always agrees. This character, this persona, is the you that exists in their internal world. They have built a relationship not with the totality of you, but with your representative, with your ambassador. Now, through your courageous shadow work, you have begun to fire that ambassador. You have started showing up as yourself, the real you, the you that has opinions, the you that has boundaries, the you that has a unique and different way of seeing the world. And the people around you are confused. They are still looking for the old ambassador. They are still trying to interact with a character that is no longer on stage. When they look at you, their eyes are filtered through the lens of their expectation of who you should be. And so, the new, authentic you is literally invisible to them. Carl Jung might explain this using the metaphor of frequencies. Imagine that for years, you have been broadcasting your life on a specific radio frequency, let's say AM 101. Everyone in your life has their radio dial tuned to AM 101 to listen to you. They know what to expect from that station. Predictable music, a soothing voice, no surprises. But your inner work has changed your broadcast tower. You are no longer transmitting on AM 101. You have started broadcasting on a new frequency, a clearer, more complex signal. Let's say FM 99.9. Your authentic self is now on the air. But the people in your life, their radios are still tuned to AM 101. They listen, and all they hear is static. They don't hear the new music. They don't hear the new truth. They just notice that the old, familiar broadcast has gone silent. So they look at you, and they don't see the new you. They see the absence of the old you. And this is why it feels like being a ghost. Let's imagine Chloe, our nurse, at a family dinner. For years, at these dinners, she played the role of the quiet, agreeable listener. She was on AM 101.
After starting to follow her inner calling to be an artist, she feels a new sense of life and passion. At the next dinner, someone asks her what she's been up to. Instead of giving the usual safe answer, "Oh, same old, busy with work," she takes a risk. She says, "Actually, I've started a pottery class and I'm absolutely in love with it. It's making me see the world in a whole new way." She is broadcasting on FM 99.9, and her family, their dials still firmly on AM 101, don't know how to receive this signal. They might respond with a polite but dismissive, "Oh, that's nice, dear," and then immediately change the subject back to something familiar, back to AM 101. In that moment, Chloe feels a crushing sense of invisibility. She shared a piece of her vibrant new soul, and it was treated as if it were a ghost, unseen, unheard. It is one of the most painful stages of the individuation journey, because the part of us that is a child still craves to be seen and validated by our tribe. We want them to change their radio dials. We want them to tune into the new us. But here is the hard and liberating truth Carl Jung's work teaches us. We cannot force anyone to change their frequency. Their ability to see you is limited by their own level of consciousness, their own fears, their own shadow work. Their inability to see you is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of their own inner landscape. They are not rejecting you. They are simply unable to perceive you. To demand that they see you is to remain dependent on their validation. It is to keep your sense of reality, your very sense of existence, in their hands. The path to wholeness, the ultimate goal of all shadow work, requires a radical shift in the locus of validation. It must move from the outside to the inside. You must become your own primary witness. You must become the one who tunes your own radio to FM 99.9 and listens with unwavering attention. You must learn to see yourself with so much clarity and compassion that the seeing or not seeing of others becomes secondary. It is still nice to have, but it is no longer the oxygen you need to survive. Your own steady gaze has become your breath. This is the task. This is the great turning point. It is the graduation from the childhood need for external reflection to the adult capacity for self-recognition. And it is the only real antidote to the painful, lonely ache of feeling invisible. Your own steady gaze has become your breath. This is the great shift. The journey from seeking external validation to cultivating internal validation. And it is the core of what Carl Jung called the process of individuation. But how do we do this? How do we become our own witness, especially when we have been trained our whole lives to look outside of ourselves for approval? This is where the shadow work becomes incredibly subtle and incredibly powerful. We must learn to turn the spotlight of our awareness around. For years, that spotlight has been aimed outwards, constantly scanning the faces of others, asking the silent question, "Do you see me? Am I okay? Do you approve?" The work now is to turn that spotlight inward, to illuminate the vast, rich, and often ignored landscape of our own inner world, to ask a new question: do I see me? Am I willing to witness the totality of my own experience? And this means witnessing everything, not just the parts of you that you are proud of, not just your strength, your kindness, your achievements. It also means turning the spotlight into the dark, dusty corners of your psyche, into the shadow.
And here lies a profound paradox. The reason you feel invisible to others is often because there are parts of you that are still invisible to yourself. You have spent a lifetime disowning, denying, and repressing certain aspects of your being. Your anger, your envy, your vulnerability, your ambition. These are the exiled citizens of your inner world, and as long as they remain in the shadows, you are presenting a fragmented, incomplete version of yourself to the world. You are showing up as a ghost of who you truly are. And is it any wonder, then, that the world sees you as a ghost? To become truly visible, to feel solid, real, and substantial in your own skin, you must be willing to own the totality of who you are, the light and the dark, the sacred and the profane, the beautiful and the broken. This is the deeper meaning of the phrase, integrating the shadow. It is not about getting rid of the bad parts. It is about turning the spotlight of loving awareness onto them and saying, you belong too. You are a part of my wholeness. Each time you do this, you become more real, more three-dimensional. Let's imagine a man named Michael, a 40-year-old architect, a classic nice guy. He felt perpetually unseen and overlooked at work, despite his talent. He did his shadow work and discovered a huge amount of repressed anger in his shadow. Anger at being taken for granted. He was terrified of this anger, believing it made him a bad person. But instead of pushing it away, he learned to turn the spotlight on it. He started to witness it in his journaling. Today, I felt a flash of anger when my boss credited my idea to someone else. I see that anger. It is here. It is a part of me. He wasn't acting on the anger. He was simply witnessing it. And a strange thing happened. As he began to own his anger internally, his presence began to change externally. He started to carry himself with a different weight, a new solidity. His voice had a deeper resonance. His boundaries became clearer, not through aggression, but through a quiet, unshakable sense of self. People at work started to listen to him more. They started to see him. By integrating his shadow, he had become more visible. The darkness had given his light something to stand on. It gave him depth. It gave him substance. This is the secret of the shadow spotlight. The parts of you that you have hidden away are not your weaknesses. They are the source of your missing power. Your repressed anger holds the energy for your boundaries. Your repressed grief holds the key to your compassion. Your repressed ambition holds the fire for your purpose. Your repressed fear holds the doorway to your wisdom. The Carl Jung inspired journey is about understanding that you are a universe. You cannot become whole by only living on the sunny side of your planet. You must be willing to explore the dark side of the moon. Not because it is bad, but because it is yours, and it holds half of your treasures. To feel visible in the world, you must first be willing to make every part of yourself visible to yourself. This is the ultimate act of self-love. It is the act of becoming your own sanctuary, your own safe harbor, your own most trusted witness. When you can look at your own jealousy and instead of shaming it, you can ask with curiosity, what are you trying to show me about my own desires? You are seeing yourself. When you can feel the depths of your own sadness, and instead of numbing it, You can hold it with compassion. You are seeing yourself. When you can admit to your own selfish thoughts without identifying with them, you are seeing yourself. And when you can truly see yourself in all your magnificent, messy, contradictory wholeness, a miracle occurs. The desperate, hungry need for others to see you begins to soften. It loosens its grip. Because you are finally receiving the one validation that ever truly mattered. Your own. The one validation that ever truly mattered. Your own. This is the destination, but the journey to get there is a practice. It is the conscious, deliberate act of building a new muscle, the muscle of self-witnessing. So how do we begin? How do we practice seeing ourselves when our gaze is so habitually turned outwards? I want to offer you a simple yet profoundly transformative shadow work practice. It requires no tools other than a mirror and 1 minute of your time. It is an act of radical self-recognition. I call it the mirror dialogue. Sometime this week, preferably at the end of the day, I want you to find a quiet moment to be alone. Go into your bathroom or stand before any mirror in your home. And for 1 minute, your only task is to look at yourself. Specifically, to look directly into your own eyes. This will likely feel incredibly uncomfortable at first. Our instinct is to immediately look away, to find a flaw, to criticize our reflection. The inner critic will get very loud. You look tired. Your skin looks terrible. Who do you think you are staring at yourself like this? Your job is to simply notice those thoughts, like clouds passing in the sky, and to gently bring your gaze back to your own eyes. You're not looking for beauty. You're not looking for perfection. You're simply looking for the being behind the eyes, the witness, the one who has been with you through every single moment of your life. After a few moments of just looking, of just being present with yourself, you are going to perform a simple, powerful act. You are going to speak, out loud. A whisper is enough, but the vibration of your own voice is key. You are going to become the witness that you have been longing for from the outside world. You are going to validate your own experience for the day. You will complete one of these 2 sentences. Today, I saw you. Or, today, I felt you. And you will fill in the blank with one small, honest truth about your day that no one else saw. It could be a moment of strength. It could be a moment of struggle. Both are equally valid. Both are worthy of being witnessed. For example, you might look into your own eyes and say, "Today, I saw you stay patient with the kids, even when you were exhausted." Or, "Today, I saw you hold back your opinion in that meeting because you were scared. I see that fear." Or, "Today, I felt you feel a deep wave of sadness when you heard that old song. I'm here with you in that." Or, "Today, I felt you feel a flicker of real joy when you saw that dog on the street. I saw it too." Let's think of a woman like Chloe, our nurse. After a long, difficult shift, she might stand before the mirror. Her inner critic is telling her all the things she did wrong. But she takes a breath, she looks into her own eyes, and she whispers, "Today, I saw you hold a patient's hand when they were scared, even though you were running behind. I saw your compassion." In that moment, she is not waiting for her boss or her family to validate her. She's giving that validation to herself. She is becoming her own source. This is not an act of narcissism. It is a profound psychic hygiene. It is a form of shadow work because you are turning the spotlight on the small, unseen, often disowned moments of your daily existence. You are practicing radical presence with yourself. Carl Jung believed that the ultimate goal of the human journey is to build a strong connection between the ego and the self. The ego is the part of you that navigates the outer world. The self is the wise, whole, organizing center of your entire being. This mirror dialogue is a practical way to build that bridge. Your reflection in the mirror is the ego. The deep, quiet presence you feel looking back at you from behind your eyes, that is a glimpse of the self. And your spoken words are the bridge. You're literally creating a conscious relationship between the part of you that acts and the part of you that witnesses. When you do this practice, do not expect a miracle. The first few times, you may feel foolish. You may feel nothing. You may want to run. That is the resistance of the old programming. The part of you that believes it is safer to remain invisible. Your job is to stay for 60 seconds, to offer yourself one single honest sentence of recognition. Over time, something will begin to shift. The gaze of the stranger in the mirror will start to feel like the gaze of a friend. The inner critic's voice will begin to lose its power because there is a new, more compassionate voice in the room, your own. And as you become a more consistent, more loving witness for yourself, you will begin to carry that sense of being seen with you out into the world. You will walk with a different kind of solidity, a quiet confidence that is not dependent on external applause, because you have started to provide for yourself the one thing you were always seeking from others, the simple, sacred, and life-changing gift of your own attention. The simple, sacred, and life-changing gift of your own attention. This is the ultimate spotlight, the one that can never be turned off by the opinions or perceptions of others. We began this journey lost in the painful paradox of feeling invisible precisely at the moment we were trying to be most real. We came to understand this not as a personal failure, but as a natural phase of growth, a frequency shift that the outside world may not yet be tuned to. Carl Jung's work showed us that this is a critical stage in the individuation process. We then turned the spotlight of awareness inward, discovering that our feeling of invisibility is often connected to the parts of ourselves that we have kept invisible, even from ourselves. We learned that the shadow work of integrating all parts of who we are, the light and the dark, is what gives us substance, depth, and a true sense of presence. And finally, we were given a powerful, tangible practice, the mirror dialogue, to begin the sacred act of becoming our own primary witness, to shift the locus of validation from the noisy, fickle outside world to the quiet, steady center of our own being. This journey is about understanding a profound spiritual truth. You were not born to be a reflection in someone else's mirror. You were born to be a source of light. And the only witness you ever truly needed was the one who has been looking out from behind your eyes your entire life. To see yourself in your totality is to become whole. It is to finally feel real, grounded, and substantial, not because of who is looking at you, but because of how you are looking at yourself. But as you practice this, as you begin to feel more solid and visible to yourself, a new imperative will arise. A person who sees their own value will no longer tolerate having that value disrespected. A person who sees their own sacred ground will feel a natural urge to protect it. The act of seeing yourself clearly inevitably leads to the need to create clear boundaries with others. But how do we do that? How do we translate this inner sense of worth into an outer structure of respect? How do we build the fences that protect the sacred garden of our soul? This is the next very practical and deeply empowering step of our shadow work journey, and it is exactly what we will explore together in our next video. I invite you to subscribe to continue building this authentic life. For now, your work is to practice the art of sacred seeing. And to begin, I invite you to join this community of witnesses. In the comments below, share one small, honest thing you are choosing to see in yourself today. It could be a strength, a struggle, a feeling, a hope. You can use the format of our practice. Today, I saw. Let this space become a collective mirror where we practice seeing ourselves, and in doing so, we help each other feel a little less invisible. Remember, the world may or may not see you. That is beyond your control, but you can always choose to see yourself. And that, in the end, is the only vision that truly matters.